Dead Rising holds a great mechanic for Forever Winter, and that mechanic is the camera from Dead Rising 1 and Dead Rising 2 off the record. It's also in 4, but everyone hates 4. A questline focused on getting specific photos would be a good alternative to combat, I think. Having you take photos of specific landmarks in the different maps would also give you more to do in those maps besides just shooting everything. For example, the Hangman's Gun in the eastern half of Elephant Mausoleum, it more or less goes ignored once you've been through the map a few times and plotted out your routes. There's not really a good reason to go in that direction, albeit the Orgamech corpses in the southeast part of the map are a good node in that direction. But either than that, it's more reasons to go to the different parts of the maps and will help stretch the maps a little bit further, since there is a limited pool. It would be a good way to earn an alternative way to earn XP, since currently combat is the best way to make money and XP in the game. This would be a better approach to the whole you aren't that guy experience. I believe one of the early ideas for Forever Winter was also that you were going to be playing as a wartime journalist, experiencing the horrors through a camera lens. This would be a good way to harken back to that idea. I know they've been slowly adding more sync kill animations to the game, and this is a great excuse to get more of those animations and get more out of them from a gameplay standpoint. Specific quests like maybe snap a photo of getting toothy bagged, or yeah, other such exchanges as long as the players have a way to replicate it. The camera, I think, should be assembled early on from parts you can find, which are already in the game. There is actually a camera and a camera lens already. It would be a very early game way to play it first, I think, with chances for more lucrative shots letting it push more into the mid and late game. So that would maybe assembling the camera would be a good introductionary quest. I think this could work well in multiplayer as well, with players taking photos of each other doing certain things. It would be a reason beyond catharsis for doing the backstab animations on infantry, for example, which, at the most part, from what I can tell, are just there to flex and style upon them, which is fun. Players recovering from being knocked back or knocked down from explosions, healing, snacking on E-nuggets, there are a lot that they could get out of it, and it would help justify all the points they put into all the animation. Giving the camera upgrades could also be useful for helping it be good in the mid and late game. Uses such as maybe tagging and highlighting enemies from a greater distance and more quickly. A thermal mode to see through smoke, a loot scanner like the TAC scanner can do. You wouldn't want to make the TACCOM obsolete, obviously, though. So unless it gets turned into an early mid-game scouting tool, we would probably have to be approaching that very carefully. I think it would be a good bonus for some of the less utilized scavs as well. Like Old Man at this point, I'd say he's pretty squarely outclassed by Shaman and Maskman. Something like an increased score for his photos, for example, would be good. I do think there should also be categories. Scav being toothy sacked or chopped up into sashimi by the grabber would be a category like the brutality of war. Bodies hanging in the tunnels, and in the nighttime version of Babel could be the horrors of war. In the memorial in the trenches of Elephant Mausoleum could be something like the moments of humanity in war or something. You'd probably want to call it something better than that. That's just what I can think of the top of my head. It would be a good for opportunities for quests and achievements catered to those categories too, like snap a photo of X happening, snap a photo of a brutal shot worth so and so points, etc. I think some of this could be pretty powerful though, so for that reason, I think the camera should be made to use a weapon slot. This means that the player who's decided to take the camera with them has less means to store and scavenge extra ammo. And maybe, for example, I usually like to pack something that uses cheap ammo in my primary slot, and then if I'm in danger I pull out a weapon that does lots of damage. So this would be a good way to sort of counter the effects of that. Thank you for watching. I am slowly getting better at making videos, but I know it's still very rough around the edges. I would love to hear more brainstorming on the topic in the comments, and please do the things the algorithm likes. Have a good day.